Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about the top 10 favorite movies of the decade. My favorite movies. They're not your favorite movies, probably not. They are pretty cool. And they're certainly not all like the greatest critically acclaimed movies of the decade. So I mean, it's just my list, so don't hate too much, Alright, but first we're going to go over some honorable mentions. Some of them that didn't fully make the top 10, but they could have been in my top 10 if there wasn't 10 other of my favorite movies. I think there's 10 of them. First of all, we got Moneyball. We got Marriage Story, the Lego Movie, Star Wars The Force Awakens, The Disaster Artist, Her, Lady Bird, Avengers Infinity War / Endgame. I'm just putting them together because I don't give a shit. Toy Story 3, and Us. Now, what you've all been waiting for, my top 10. Now, it's kind of hard to say these are in order, but kind of are. I could try to put them in order as best as I can for how much I like them. Not necessarily, you'll find out, not critic rating wise. So, number 10, we got Me, Earl and the Dying Girl. When I first saw the trailer for this movie, I was really amped. I don't know why, it is about filmmaking, it just felt like it had a lot of heart to it. And when I watched it, there was one scene in the movie that just made me ball up like a little bitch. And yeah, I really love this movie. It's cute. It's kind of one of those quirky movies, but it worked, and I really liked it. Number 9, we have Get Out by Jordan Peele. This movie is thrilling from end to end. It's got some humor to it. God, but it's just so thrilling. Like, I was on the edge of my seat the whole movie. And then like the end is real satisfying. And but if you ever see the deleted ending, it's like that's the more realistic, harsh, sad ending. But yeah. Alright, so let's go on to number 8, Nightcrawler. I'm a big fan of thrillers. You're gonna tell by this list, but Nightcrawler, man, Jake Gyllenhaal is just like gripping with like how I don't know what the kind of the traits he has, but it's kind of like narcissistic, maybe not, but like it's almost like he's got a god complex the minute he starts getting into this action of getting there to the crime scenes first for the news and getting video, and it's just so it's good, it's great. Number 7, we have 10 Cloverfield Lane. This movie is kind of like where I would put Get Out and Nightcrawler as thrilling, but man, the performances in here are amazing, and they're real gripping, and like it's so claustrophobic. This story is like there's no escape. That's what it felt like. Number 6, we have The Cabin in the Woods. It's probably one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It's so meta. It's so just out there with calling out horror movie tropes and cliches and just bringing them to light. And then the scenes where you get all the monsters, just all hundreds of these classic movie monsters. You just like, there's like a lot of fan service. And it's like, to me it felt like whenever all the monsters came out, they're just killing all these shitty critics, because critics are shitty. Yeah. Okay, number 5, Silver Linings Playbook. This movie is weird for me. I probably shouldn't relate to it as much as I do, but I do, and so that's why it's so high on this list for me, and one of my favorite movies of all time, because the first like 30 minutes I was like already starting to cry, and just seeing like these two characters kind of fall for each other is so romantic, and Bradley Cooper really sells his bipolarness. So yeah, this movie's my number 5. Love it. Number 4, Interstellar. Interstellar is an experience. Matthew McConaughey is great, and oh man, I love this movie. And just the visuals. Sounds probably a little too loud sometimes, but the soundtrack is just the score is beautiful. visuals are great. Matthew McConaughey made me cry. If you know what scene I'm talking about. Goddamn, good movie. Number 3. This is gonna be a controversial pick, but I think it's right that I go with my gut. I'm gonna say Joker. Joker really felt like a masterpiece to me. Joaquin Phoenix was amazing. Todd Phillips killed it. The cinematographer was beautiful. Like all the colors, just I love this movie. I love that movie with my whole heart. You know, you start off feeling bad for Joaquin Phoenix, and at the end you're kind of almost scared of him, and you're like, why? What the hell happened? What the fuck? Number 2 is Moonlight, and man, Moonlight is so touching. It feels so real and raw, and the emotions you get from it are just so I can't say the word, but the movie feels real and raw, and the story that's told is ultimately kind of like beautiful in a way. And man, you can't give this enough praise. The performances, the cinematography, I mean, and mostly the story is what screenplay and the performances are what this movie could have been shot on a 360p camera and just been just as good. That's what I gotta say. My favorite movie of the decade. This is a weird choice, so be ready. Swiss Army Man. Now this movie, I saw the trailer and I was really excited for. And then I heard it was getting trashed on for no reason, because it's original and it's heartwarming and it's heartfelt. And some can call it pretentious, but I don't think it is. I think it's just real, you know? I think it's raw emotions. And I think that's what really makes it so nice to me. Like, every time I hear some of the words coming out of Paul Dano's mouth, I'm just like, I needed to hear that. I mean, and Manny too. Like, I mean, Daniel Radcliffe, you know, just some of their conversations really make you think. They really make you want to, like, change yourself and who you are. So thank you so much. That was my top 10 of the decade and my honorable mentions. And it was nice having y'all. And I hope the next decade gives us just as many good films. And I hope I have some of my films to show. But who knows? Goodbye.